Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all, and y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we're going to be speaking on a Boston rapper who was arrested after he allegedly murdered his baby mother, stabbing her 58 times and breaking her neck. November 25th, 2021. It was 1 in the morning when 22-year-old Deja Jenkins Minus left her family's Dorchester home for the last time. She was on her way to Lowell, roughly an hour away, and heading to her boyfriend's home. The two had an on-again, off-again relationship, and in the past few days would take to Facebook with a series of posts directed at one another. They shared a child, a beautiful 2-month-old baby girl, and she sat in the back seat as Deja drove through the dark early morning. Hours passed with no word from Deja, as Thanksgiving couldn't fill the empty void left in her family, who worried as she never showed up for dinner. They were able to ping her phone's location at 36 Llewellyn Street, and they knew it was her boyfriend's place, but they were still unable to make contact. Deja's mom decided to drive over, passing by the house twice, but there was no sign anyone was home, as the lights were off, no cars were in the driveway, and the door was locked. It had now been 24 hours since anyone had seen Deja or her 2-month-old baby. Friday morning, after staying awake throughout the night praying Deja's phone would ping a new location, Deja's mom contacted the police requesting a wellness check. As Lowell police made their way over, a family member entered the boyfriend's home through an unlocked window. He called out for anyone, but no one responded. He tried to open the bedroom door, but it was locked, so he kicked repeatedly until the lock broke. That's when he saw Deja laying on the floor next to an air mattress, covered in blood. It was 10:45 in the morning as investigators went through the home, observing the red-stained walls as blood had spattered throughout the kitchen and floor. She'd fought for her life, the stab and slash wounds to her hands and arms, a result of trying to defend herself from an attack. She'd been stabbed in her chest, her throat, and her face. She'd also been stabbed in the back of her neck and the back of her head, as she either attempted to get away or balled up as the loss of blood weakened her ability to defend herself. She'd been brutally murdered, the 22-year-old mother bleeding out on the floor as her baby was nearby, too young to understand the chaos taking place. A neighbor across the street witnessed her pull into the driveway, carrying the baby in a baby bag before being let in, but she was never seen leaving. The only questions left were, where is the baby and where is the boyfriend? With devastating news, a sigh of relief came as the 2-month-old baby was found alive and well in Boston, her diaper bag stained with her mother's dried blood. The Lowell Police Department issued a be on the lookout alert for a murder suspect driving a 2010 Kia Forte. It was Deja's vehicle, and according to the alert, it was being operated by 22-year-old Leonard Robinson, Deja's boyfriend, who's more commonly known as the Boston rapper Poleboy D. Rose. Back in 2020, a Mass State Police trooper pulled over a Kia Forte with a missing license plate. Checking the vehicle's registration, the vehicle was revoked and uninsured and had to be towed. During a search of the vehicle, a .380 Walther PK was found on the floor of the passenger seat. Deja had been driving, D. Rose rode passenger, and they were both arrested when no one claimed ownership over the illegally possessed weapon. Deja was charged with 5 firearm offenses, while D. Rose was charged with 6, including possession of a firearm with 3 prior violent crime convictions. Her bail was set at $10,000, while his was set at $100,000, and D. Rose would later be released on a $5,000 bail with a GPS bracelet in order to keep a 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. curfew. He was still being monitored when Deja was killed. Data from the bracelet obtained by investigators would place D. Rose at his Lowell home until roughly 2 p.m. Thanksgiving Day. His neighbor saw him sitting in the driver's seat of Deja's Kia for roughly 20 minutes before driving off. He was then seen on surveillance video driving 10 minutes later. The GPS indicated he drove to multiple locations and was in Dorchester by 3 p.m. before cutting off the bracelet at 4:56. Saturday, the day after Deja was found, a search warrant was executed on the home in Lowell and a knife was recovered. An autopsy would also be performed that day detailing Deja's wounds. She was stabbed a total of 58 times and her neck had been broken. The knife recovered was consistent with the stabbing injuries to her body, and it wasn't until Monday Boston police were able to locate D. Rose in Boston, with video of his arrest being recorded by a woman within the home.
Alright, relax. He's not doing anything. Calm down. No, calm down. Y'all can calm down. He didn't, hold on. He's good. I got you on that dog. I got you on that dog.
Yep. You're gonna come over here, you're gonna come out. We're gonna freeze the apartment.
Alright. Get your hands off me. Don't be touching me.
When arrested, he claimed he hadn't seen Deja for 2 weeks, later changing his story by saying she came to his house Thursday, but he didn't let her in, so she left. The Boston rapper was arraigned in Lowell District Court the following day for murder, where the district attorney detailed the events that took place in front of Deja's heartbroken family. The DA would also give a possible motive, as leading up to Deja's death, the two would argue through Facebook in a series of now deleted posts. D. Rose's now deleted Facebook contained posts dating back 12 days before Deja's death, where a subliminal post read, "Acting like she hates her baby daddy." He'd follow up with a message saying a mother shouldn't have time to chase the child's father who no longer wants her, and energy spent dissing him on social media could be spent on being a mother. In a more detailed post, D. Rose would write, "Ain't no way she forgot to mention she was fucking more than one man when she got pregnant. I ain't playing daddy, I ain't playing house, and always said I wanted a DNA test from the beginning. Bitches get mad and post personal shit all day long. Shit's corny. I ain't even want to post this, and I usually just let the bitch live her best life on Facebook, even when she start lying and shit. But this is different. Like, if you gonna perform, at least tell the audience the full story. All I'm saying is bitches is messy, petty, and wasn't ready for a kid, and it's sad that it shows on Facebook." 3 days before Deja's death, she'd post saying, "If a man help you with your kids and he ain't the daddy, that man love you." A day later, she'd write, "A man that's not loyal to his kids is not loyal to no one." And the last post she ever wrote, "I got this mommy shit on lock. My daughter will never need for anything. Can't wait to celebrate her first Thanksgiving tomorrow." Investigators believe Deja's life was taken soon after she arrived at D. Rose's home in the early hours of Thanksgiving morning. D. Rose was denied bail, and before court ended, his defense attorney told the judge D. Rose feared for his safety at the Middlesex Jail and House of Corrections. This made Deja's family laugh, as court officers had to quiet them down. D. Rose was from Dorchester, specifically Geneva Ave, and this may have been an attempt to get transferred back to Boston to be around his people while in jail. His next court date has been scheduled for December 30th, and if he's housed in confinement for his own protection until then, it's solely up to him, as the judge seems to care less. Now, this case is a sad one. I mean, you got a 22-year-old mother with a 2-month-old child that no longer has a mother. Anyone that's had a kid, you know you're gonna fight with your significant other, especially after having the baby. It's just like a part of having a baby is the arguments that follow. When you got somebody that portrays the life of a killer in the streets, you know, beefing with this street, this hood, that hood, that killer mentality can get ingrained in you to the point that in any little dispute, you can turn to that instinct. And at the end of the day, no matter how much evidence is against him, he's assumed innocent until proven guilty. But this man got a lot of fucking evidence against him. It is not looking good in this case. And it's a fucking shame. I mean, you got a rapper that was living in his own small little house in a bedroom, sleeping on an air mattress. Obviously didn't have that much fucking money. He's driving his girl's car. And then at the same time, the life that he was living riding around with a gun in the car. He didn't even take the gun charge when they were pulled over by police, which resulted in this girl getting charged with 5 gun charges. I don't know if she was ever convicted. His case is still pending. Her case could have still been pending, which means if he never took the charge, both of them could have been convicted felons based off of that firearm that was found on the passenger side where he was sitting. He was supposed to, hey, that's my gun, it ain't hers. She wouldn't have been charged. His lifestyle affected her.
With you, be careful. Okay. Oh, free at last.
But at the same time, she was grown enough to make the decision on being with him. Obviously, without the ability to predict the future and foresee what was to happen. But when you're around someone that needs to be around guns and you make the conscious decision to drive with that person, you're gonna fall into situations like this where you're now charged with 5 different firearm offenses and have to bail out of jail. But all in all, a 2-month-old baby girl essentially lost her parents. Her mother is gone, and it sounds like her father's never gonna be free again. And it's just a terrible fucking tragedy. There's no other way to describe it. But if y'all find a GoFundMe for the family, for the baby, for funeral expenses, comment it in the comment section. I'm gonna have it pinned for anybody that would like to donate. But hey, it's 1090 Jake. I'm rocking with y'all, y'all rocking with me. Till next time.